Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
I'm DKWILL. This is DKWILL Talk About It. And I'm back. I've gone through my ministerial training to be more proficient with the Bible. In the meantime, I was able to get out of an extended stay and into a rental home. By the time I got here Monday last week, at the beginning of my school, my friend had proxied in for me and accepted the lease walkthrough. And thank you, Steve. Accepted the furniture rental that's coming in. For those of you who don't know, I suffered a house fire. That'll take several months, but let's get started. I got one thing I need to do, though. I need to move my internet connection instead of using this hotspot. So bear with me while I use this hotspot. But this story is definitely worth covering. It's from the Bitcoinist, and it's Ripple-backed Epic Chain to launch XRP-Powered real-world asset tokenization platform. Epic Chain, backed by Ripple, is taking a bold step into the future of finance with the launch of its XRP native real-world asset tokenization platform. With Ripple's support and XRP's efficiency at its core, Epic Chain could lead the next wave of adoption where trillions, did I say trillions? Yeah. Trillions, I think I said trillions. Trillions in real world assets move seamlessly on chain. Ripple backs the New World Assets platform. In the release, Epic Chain is positioning itself at the center of real world assets tokenization. Folks, this is the wave of the future. I actually did a video about real world asset tokenization. I will find it and add the card. It's a couple years old, maybe, but hey, here we're kind of like, if we ain't ahead of the curve, we're at least on it, right? It says, with the global real world asset market estimated at over $50 trillion, Epic Chain's positioning could be transformational. Right now, they have a modest $60 million of fully diluted valuation. They trade on Binance, Bybit, and Qcoin, with further listings anticipated. So briefly, we'll throw that up here because it may be an opportunity to get in at a relative bottom, we'll say, on Epic, because this news came out yesterday. And you can see here the progression of the price in Epic Chain on the 7-day. Right here is where it begins on the 15th. That's because people know it's coming. But what really to keep in mind is when you go to the all-time, it's been as high as, looks like to me, about, I don't know, what is that? About $73? What kind of X is that? A 35X? A 30X? Doesn't matter. That's a nice appreciation, but you'll also notice this spike here in volume. Let's back up a little bit. Look at that spike there in volume right here where the words say coin market cap. So somebody knew something about something and did something about it back then, trying to get ahead of it. I am not offering financial advice, but for those newcomers who are looking for more traditional type assets, where penny stocks scare you when you see something worth 10, 15 cents or less than a penny, that might be a good look, is the Epic Chain coin. It goes on to say, according to Root2Fi, initially launched as ERC20 token on Ethereum, Epic is now migrating to an EVM compatible XRP Ledger sidechain, unlocking native liquidity and tighter integration with XRP infrastructure. This pivot strengthens settlement speed, scalability, and ensures Epic Chain remains aligned with Ripple's long-term vision of enterprise-grade blockchain adoption. Let's keep reading. I'm not a reader. This is DK. We'll talk about it. Let's go down a little bit here. XRP Ledger as a backbone for the next generation of real estate finance. Now, this I want to read. Amid this bold move, the XRP Ledger is set to enable the tokenization of 228 trillion in institutional real estate to be brought on chain through the XRP Ledger Asset Program on today, August 18th. 228 trillion, folks. Things are moving fast. Yes, the price is compressed. but really believe in what you hold. Moving these amounts of assets, XRP itself is going to have to escalate in price so it doesn't burn away. That's a lot of money movement right there, folks. And I'm not saying that the money movement is necessarily the use of the XRP token, but I am saying the continued increased liquidity and volume, which will increase the use, will certainly put a put a stress on the number of XRP as it burns away. So that's a good place to go. Of course, I already showed you that Epic might be a good place to go. And when I went to their website, it's pretty impressive for a little chain. I was impressed with it. It's classy, it's streamlined, building the world's first real world asset superstructure, aligning who? Institutions and consumers across every major asset class. This is like a bamboo plant about to pop out of the ground here, people. You can look at some of their first partners here, Ripple being one of them, Brinks being another, Chainlink being another. And then we have news articles on their website. And it's a very nicely done, very classy website. In my opinion, in my opinion. It says Epic unifies fragmented real world value into a seamless pipeline from tokenization to yield. The Epic architecture transforms assets like real estate, bonds, and collectibles into on chain primitives that can be stacked, traded, or spent instantly. Users gain access to yield generating instruments without sacrificing liquidity, custody, or composability. All of this while having maximum exposure to all major real world asset markets and earning auto compounding yield in what? In XRP. Wow. So, folks, I figured I'd bring this to your attention. Why? Because I think it might be a value that's going to become more and more realized in less and less time. Speaking of less and less time, past the 8 minute mark, most people don't watch that far anyway. But if you made it this far, thank you. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make you come back, hit notifications so you'll know when I do another video. And just another few points to bring out on that article that I looked over before getting back on that I thought were worthy of mention is speaking on Epic. It says it's operating in over 150 countries. The project targets more than 100 million traders and is connected to over a million bank accounts. That's impressive. At least in my world, it's impressive. It says it pushes adoption through its Epic One Visa crypto card, offering up to 8% XRP cash back with no daily limits, spendable in over 180 countries. That's very impressive. And so this was impressive enough to do a video about. And I want to talk about it. And this is DK Will Talk About It. And I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.